This is the roller mill. This is a machine that can take a piece of metal like this and flatten it out and make it longer or in a square, any of those things. So this is a machine that does that. It has two steel wheels. This side is flat and this side is zoomed in. Or sorry, this side is squared. So I'm going to show you guys how to use this machine so that you guys can roll out any piece of metal thinner or into a different shape, or from a round piece of wire into a square piece of wire. So the first thing that you want to do or know about this machine is this machine should always remain covered if not in use, so that dust and all of these things doesn't rust and moisture doesn't get on it to mess up the gears. The next thing you want to do is this right here adjusts the height of these two wheels. So as I turn it one way, the wheels separate, and as I turn it the other way, the wheels get closer together. And now I'm going to show you how to set it here. So as you set this, what you want to do is you want to take your piece of metal and you want to put it right where you want it to start, and you're going to clamp down the metal. Okay? It is now stuck in between in this gauge right there. So I'm going to loosen it up and I'm going to take that piece of metal out. I'm going to look at the gauge and I'm going to make it a quarter turn tighter than what it was stopped at. So now that piece of metal shouldn't, the two wheels aren't as aren't the width of the metal. They're a little bit smaller, which will make the metal smaller. So I'll put it through, and now I'll roll it, and as I roll it, I'll catch it on the other side, and then I'll take it and I'll quarter turn, and I'll put it through again, and I'll roll it. Now I'm going to take the top wheel, I'm going to do a quarter turn so the wheels are closer together. I'm going to put the metal through so that the top of the metal is, so they're all in line, and I'll roll it through. I'll do a quarter turn, put it through, and roll it. And now that I've done both sides, I'll quarter turn the top wheel, making these two rollers go closer together, and I'll do it again. As you feel the metal getting harder and harder to roll through, you'll know that you need to anneal it. So I'll roll through, at quarter turn, now I roll through. Quarter turn, and I'll roll through. And as I'm doing this, this piece of metal is getting longer and thinner. Now it's kind of hard to work, so I'm going to go and I'm going to anneal it. Right now it's work hardened, and it's becoming very brittle, and the chances of it cracking and the chances of it breaking are high. So I need to go anneal it, which softens the metal and makes the metal easier to bend and stretch and form. So I'll go anneal it. In this video, we're going to show you how to flatten out a piece of metal into a plate, or into something thinner and more rectangular, not square. So just like in the previous video, we're going to set the height. So I'm going to roll this, roll the rollers apart, and I'll put my piece of metal in and then tighten it just so that it holds there. And you can see the metal is stuck right there. I'm going to take note of what the gauge on the top wheel says. I'll loosen it, take my metal out, and now I'll go 1/4 turn to the right to bring those wheels together. I'll put my metal in, and now I'll start rolling. And as I roll, at first it may not look like anything, but on this side, we wanted to rotate the metal. When we're flattening it, we don't. We want to keep the top so that it's always compressing those sides and keeping the sides that are being flattened the same direction. So we'll go 1/4 turn, and we'll put it in. And if you can see, the metal is getting wider and thinner. So 1/4 turn. And you'll just keep doing this until your desired thickness or width. 1/4 turn. And you're paying attention to how the turn feels, so that when it becomes more difficult or work hardened, you can stop and you can go anneal the metal. And you'll see it getting thinner and thinner. And every time I'm turning it 1/4 turn, and I'm keeping the top and the bottom pressed against that wire, the 2 rollers. So it's getting wider and wider. Now I feel it getting work hardened, so I'm going to take it and anneal it so that it doesn't crack and become brittle. But there it is. There's that metal. It's thinner and it's wider than what we had it before.